Good morning. Will our honorary degree candidate please join us at the podium? Boy, what a treat this is. I got goosebumps. Ithaca College today honors with its Doctor of Laws degree Dorothy Cotton. You, Dorothy Cotton, are esteemed as an educator to those who were denied education. As a staunch defender of civil rights around the globe, you have devoted your life to the service of justice and peace. You have empowered the disempowered and have inspired thousands worldwide to work towards a better future for all of humanity. Unsung hero of the civil rights movement, beloved member of our community, and cherished friend of the college, we honor you today for your many achievements, both past and present. In a time of great upheaval and change, you served as a key leader of the civil rights movement. You met Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and promptly accepted his invitation to join the senior staff of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. While many heard Dr. King's uplifting words, you committed your life to the ideals they represent. Your contributions to the movement were many, but you will always be remembered especially for your service as the SCSL's Director of Education. With Andrew Young and Septima Clark, you traveled across the South to find, or rather to develop, what you called the natural black leaders of the South. Essential to this strategy of encouraging people to stand up for their rights was the Citizen Education Program, which you directed. You yourself have described this work as, quote, helping people realize that they have within themselves the stuff it takes to bring about a new order, end of quote. The CEP was a 5-day residential training program whose purpose, according to Andrew Young, was to enhance people's self-worth, to instill in them a belief that they had a right, despite historical hardships and oppression, to participate in their government and to exercise control over their own lives. Between 1961 and 1966, more than 6,000 people went through this program. In effect, a college of citizenship made possible by the vision and dedication that you and others brought to the cause. The Citizenship Education Program has rightly been called the best-kept secret of the civil rights movement. We are fortunate indeed that your life path led you to Ithaca, where you served for many years as an administrative leader at Cornell University. During your time here in Ithaca, you have continued to pursue your dream of a better world. Through your consulting firm and through the Dorothy Cotton Institute, you tirelessly work on behalf of nonviolence, doing the work of peace by promoting reconciliation and restoration at home and abroad. The acclaimed paper, The New Citizenship, which you co-authored, has breathed new life into the public discourse of civil rights in the United States, calling for the reinvention of government through the reinvention of citizenship itself. You have traveled throughout the world to address a broad range of social and humanitarian issues, including visits to the former Soviet Union, the People's Republic of China, Switzerland, India, and Vietnam, as well as many countries in Europe and Africa. You also keep the civil rights movement alive through the precious gift of heartfelt song. You were one of the movement's chief proponents of music as a way of clarifying vision and strengthening solidarity. You remind us that the movement anthem, We Shall Overcome, is a sacred song, a prayerful song. It is to be sung, you say, with joy, anticipation, and hope. You have led hundreds of audiences in song, sometimes under the most tense and challenging conditions in which violence appeared to be imminent against those who were peacefully demanding their citizenship rights. Continuing to share the songs of the movement in the present day, you keep alight the flame of hope that has brightened so many dark times and dark places in this world. Your years of devoted work have greatly advanced the cause of freedom, promoted universal equity and respect, and forever changed the lives of African Americans and all persons of color in our society. Your work has led to the legal protection from discrimination that we all enjoy today, and your efforts have contributed to deep, systemic, profound social change. We celebrate you today in the hope that you will continue to spread the message of peace, justice, and empowered engagement that is your legacy. That message resounds most powerfully in your own words. Quote, "We can all be more. Like a caterpillar in a cocoon, you could grow wings. And when you're ready and your wings are strong, you can fly. You can soar to great heights." As an educator, speaker, singer, peacemaker, and visionary, Dorothy Cotton, you have used education to its finest purpose, to empower the powerless. Andrew Young once commented that your citizenship program sought to identify those with PhD minds but third-grade educations. On this day, we are proud to acknowledge both your PhD mind and your sterling accomplishments on behalf of social justice, and to welcome you as an alumna of Ithaca College by conferring upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Wow, that was me, wasn't it? Quite something to listen to it. After all, I was born in this little shack of a house in Goldsboro, North Carolina, with an outhouse in the backyard. My dad made $9 a week, and after a little while, he made $12 a week. And yet, I was traveling around Europe with Martin Luther King and being dined and wined with royalty there. And actually, I still have to pinch myself to realize and to accept, well, yes, I did do that. I did do that. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I was asked if I wanted to say a few words, and I most certainly do want to say a few words. I've been thinking about what words I could share with you today that would have some meaning. And lest I go on a bit too long, I'll look at these notes that I scribbled here. And first, I look out at you and I think, what a day, what a view. And, what a wonderful occasion and what excitement. You graduates and families and friends of the graduates, what you must be feeling, what excitement. And I think, however, that there are probably some other feelings you are experiencing as well. If I can share anything helpful, share any thought in which you will find meaning, it may be reminding you or suggesting that you might focus on a question that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Entitled his last book, "Where do we go from here?" And I found myself asking, where do you go from here? How do you see yourself going forward from here? And I think once of a popular advertisement where the children in a car with their parents kept asking their parents, are we there yet? Are we there yet? They'd ask it every 2 or 3 minutes. And I wondered, how would you describe where there is as you think about it? Ask yourself, are you there? Will you get there? But then I decided, well, you've got to decide really where there is. And I've concluded that we the people have been on a journey. And you now, well, I was on one leg of the journey, and people long before me were also on a journey. You're on another leg of the journey, and it connects with those who were on a journey before you. And I would suggest that one actually would do very well to assess, to look at some of the earlier parts of the journey that brought us all here today. Where is there? Will we know when we get to wherever there is? And for me, there is when and where everything is working perfectly. You will have created institutions that serve and nurture the people. You will have brought into being what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called the beloved community. You would have determined the root causes of many of the horrific problems that we're facing as a species. We've come a long way on the journey, but there are miles to go before we sleep. And I want to suggest just a few reasons why we are not there. I say that we are not there because xenophobia is rampant across the planet. Fear of those seen as different from ourselves. We're not there yet because there's too much crime and too much punishment, rather than teaching and exposing young people to showing models of positive values that will help us towards our goal. We're not there yet because we still need to accept our calling as contributing citizens. We're not there yet because our educational system in other places, certainly not here, but you're going to go out and fix that. But we are not there yet in terms of what we ought to be offering people in so many places across the planet. We're not there yet because we have too many young people on a path to prison rather than on a path towards getting a good education. We're not there because women are beaten in some parts of the world, and that's not an ancient event. I have recorded on my television pictures of women being beaten because they were out without a male member of their family. We are not there yet. I could go on, and one more, we're not there because we too readily think that we can solve our problems too often by going to war. I just want to ask you if you would spend just a few minutes in a little envisioning exercise, because I want you to think about the fact that you left the planet, but you came back. Just imagine, if you will, that you came back as a bird that can soar very high over this planet on which we've been privileged to live. And as you think of it as 100 years from today, and longer, if you will, but as you pretend to be a bird flying over and looking down, you see everything working so beautifully, working so well. Let's say that people are no longer going to war to solve problems. That's what you see. You see that there are communities where people of varying cultural expressions are living together. You look down and you see children are being taught in education systems where they are clearly excited about learning, where teachers are inspired teachers doing an effective and great job with their students. We are not there yet because the elderly, but when you look down, this will have been fixed. The elderly, as you look down, are cared for in loving, nurturing communities. And though there are various religious beliefs in this perfect community that you're seeing, there is recognition that all of humanity, people since the beginning of recorded history, have instinctively had the desire to be connected to something larger than themselves. And that something is called by many names in the various religions on the planet. But you come back, you're still soaring high, and you look down and you see everything working so smoothly. And I want you to ask yourself as you come back, many, many years from this day, ask yourself as you see things working so beautifully, ask yourself, what did you do? Say, what did I do to make everything so beautiful, to have everything working so well? What are you going to choose? What path will you take? You don't have to know today, and it may change, and that's okay too. But ask yourself, what did I do to make things work so well? And I will close with a little story, and it has nothing to do with a particular religious faith, but I read this story so many years ago. A little boy went to Sunday school, and do you all still hear about Sunday school? Anyway, in Sunday school, they talked about a story of Jesus being on a cross. And this little boy is walking past the church, and he climbed up there and pulled this figure of Jesus off this cross. And somebody saw him doing that, and they called the police. They took the little boy into an office and called his parents. And when his parents got there, and they said, what made you do such a thing? They tell me you were defacing the property. And this little boy said, well, I was in Sunday school, and they told me that Jesus was on the cross, but he was up there, but they took him down, is what they taught me in Sunday school, and I thought that somebody forgot to take him down, so I went up there and took him down. Missed his tears. Isn't that a story? I want to leave you with asking yourself, like that little boy, he knew he had to do something. As you think about what you will give your life to, that you will choose a path that will make this the beautiful planet that you see. When you come back and look, that you too will decide you're going to do something. Like this little boy, you're going to give yourself to something that you are assuming that's going to make things better, to make this a better world. I wish I could know, and I'll be peeking from wherever I am, watching you and looking at what you are doing to, in fact, make it a better. And I hope I'm a better world, and I hope that I can be there, even though I may be hopping on a cane, that I will be there looking at you and checking to see if you are like that little boy, that you are working because you decided you were going to do something to make things better. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.